appointed or elected position as a member of the Board of Trustees, Hermosa Board of Trustees.
So demonstrable is essentially, if you use the laws of logic, you can, it's factual. You know, so like if, like the drunkenness is mentioned in here, if somebody gets a breathalyzer, that's demonstrable evidence. So that would be like, put it in the definitions.
You know, I think instead of the shall conduct a fair and public hearing, I think the language should be that we decide if we can proceed with the hearing.
If we need to proceed.
We have a valve there so the board can decide if this demonstrable evidence should be escalated to the hearing. It's kind of like following with the abatements that we want to do, where we want to run everything through the board so that we don't just have people flinging out complaints and everything like that, that every complaint goes through the board decides if the complaint is valid, then if the complaint is valid, then the letter goes out on the first notice.
So
Well, that's
Go
a
ahead.
good point, but that's,
Time consuming.
that can't always happen. And so we have to, that's a whole different issue there that we'll need to discuss, and that will take discussion. Because there is no way that you can wait, if you get a complaint the day after the board meeting, we cannot wait the 13 days until the next board meeting on some of these things. You just can't.
right.
Well, some of them,
So-
they're already listed in the ordinances.
Right.
But I'm talking about, not every complaint is like that.
So,
Yeah, okay, that's, okay.
Because the thing is if we get people providing supposed demonstrable evidence, then we're compelled to conduct a fair hearing with that word shall.
So that's where like demonstrable, like a complaint from a citizen without evidence is not something that's demonstrable. Like you can't read a complaint and be like, oh, that 100% happened because I read this thing that somebody else wrote. Demonstrable is like,
So if I call and tell you that my neighbor's driving drunk,
that's not
that-
demonstrable.
That is not, it has
Okay, but
to,
how
they
many
have to
people
get the
I know
ticket.
what that word means.
That's attorney speak.
So can we think
I
of
mean, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
if
Sorry, we got 4 people talking at the same time. Sorry, Shanna. Go ahead, you started, so go ahead.
Well,
With-
like I said, I mean, we have to have it in simple language.
Mhm.
So Joe Blow down the street,
Uh.
if he, you know, he might understand it like Pete next door does with the wording.
My issue isn't with the demonstrable, my issue is with the compulsion of conducting the hearing.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think we need,
Because to Shanna's point, you know, the hearings are gonna be
Costly.
Costly in both, you know, some monetary resources, but time as well. And time is probably the biggest issue with that. And, I mean, I'm not necessarily saying that we should provide a way to sweep things under the rug, but sometimes there's probably stuff that's not that big of a deal. I don't know.
okay. Joan's next.
I'm with Cal. I think you need to have steps. And your first step would be to have an executive session and discuss it. At that point, you can decide whether it's something that only needs a reprimand, or if you actually need to go to that extra step of a public hearing or dismissal. I mean, you can't just jump right into that. You have to have a process.
Process. Okay. Shanna now?
I just think it needs to be in a wording that future boards can understand and put it, are used to clearly understand it. I think it should have to wait until the next board meeting with your executive session. And I do think that there's, I don't know how to do that, but some determination of, yeah, whether it's an offense that deserves a verbal warning, a written letter in your file, you know, 3 strikes you're out type of deal, or if it's dismissible, and some guidelines on how to do that. And that's where it just gets sticky.
Yeah, the guidelines get Okay, thank you, Shanna. Aaron?
There are a few components to this. So I have to go back to, and I will keep going back to, there's a certain point where we have to say it's going to be somebody you work with on a regular basis and you have to make a decision about, and there has to be a threshold where you say, we can't ignore the need for a public hearing. Like, we can't allow wiggle room. There has to be some point where it's a hard threshold.
Step 2.
And it has to happen once the information is made available to you. It can't be like again, a breathalyzer. That's not, let's have an executive session and give them a warning. I mean, that's, if somebody comes into a meeting drunk and you got to call a sheriff and give them a breathalyzer, and then, you know.
What if they put a mint in their mouth before they took the breathalyzer? I used to install breathalyzers in cars, dude. That's a bad example to bring up around me. Just saying.
Here it is, man.
Oh,
And as far as the public hearing keeps coming up, that a public hearing is super expensive, what are the numbers specifically on holding a public hearing?
Well, it's all 5 board members, so you're talking, a public hearing would be a special meeting, so that's all of our fees. It's the hourly fee for our administration people and finance officer. It would be law enforcement would likely have to be here or be involved in a lot of those issues, so that would be paying his hourly wage. It would be the attorney, the attorney would be here. That would be his wage. So there is a significant cost to it. So
Well, so that kind of comes to is, do we have something, like, we're talking about it right now, but do we have like a procedure already that tells us exactly to conduct a public hearing?
I don't believe so.
Comment when I can.
So
Okay.
that might be another thing that needs to be
Mhm.
included maybe in this ordinance or checked in the other ordinances for it, because that seems like, again, something that it should be very clear.
Well, I like Cal's, I think the step process is a good one. Into executive session, discussion, and then the next step, whatever that would be. Whether we believe that it was minor enough that it just needs like letters in their files, and then do we need to go, okay, if you get 3 letters in your files in a year, we'll have to define that, but that's a whole nother step that we should get through these and then make that an addition, I think, just like knowing that we have to go through the code of conduct. So we know that we need to come up with a step process.
For a public hearing.
Yep.
yeah, I also think the component to this should also be that no matter what the results, a public report should be generated, which goes over, I guess, what the evidence was, what the finding of the board was, and why. So that there's a public record of that, and, I think that'll kind of address what Aaron's concerns are with why we should be doing these sorts of things. But then, it'll kind of illustrate to people, well, why didn't they do a hearing, or, why did they do this, why did they do that? And then there's really no question to kind of what that board was doing.
Well, some things have to remain private. There are just some things that have to remain private. And so we'll have to be careful of that. But Joan?
Yeah, that's definitely something that you would need to discuss with your attorney, because it is a executive session, but you could come out of that session
Right.
and make a motion to make a statement. However, before I make any statement about an employee or anyone else, I guess I would make sure it was with the attorney that it was not infringing upon the state law or your own
Individual
ordinance.
privacy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we do have state ordinances that cover stuff like that.
Okay. Okay, Aaron?
So, just
Yeah,
thinking
question like.
the
question
devil's
ago.
advocate side of things. There are certain situations where absolutely you want something discussed in executive session. But there are certain situations where that might be portrayed as trying to hide. And so we need to find that balance very carefully. Which shouldn't be go directly into executive session, I don't think. I think that's it's risky to say that the first thing you do to decide whether a hearing should be had is go behind closed doors. I'm not sure if that's
Sometimes you just have to, though.
An employee or a board of trustee or a contract firm or a trade secret requires executive session
Mm-hmm.
legally.
Yep. Okay, Cal,
And you're,
up, go ahead.
sorry, I asked a question like 3 questions ago. Your public hearing can be included, and that's why I suggested it waits until the next regular meeting instead of a special meeting, because you can include your opening when you do roll call. That's your advertisement for a public hearing. You do a roll call and open your public hearing at 6 p.m. You hold your public hearing, and then you close it, and then you go into regular session so that you're not costing the town a whole another fee for members to attend and the attorney and law enforcement, as well as your publication costs and the time that you have your admin, setting up that publication, creating it, sending it out. The other one is coming back out of the executive session, and I can see Cal's point where you would want to mention or, let the public know that, we didn't just forget about it, whether there's no motions coming out of it, but maybe rather than specifically what the charges were, it would fall under your, these listed items that in your code of conduct, as member so-and-so was accused of whatever, corruption.
I see what you're saying, yep.
And the board found, rather than go into detail,
Mm-hmm.
might be an option, so that they know that it was heard for a specific reason without telling details. That
Okay,
might be doable, and to ask them about it.
okay. Next, Jenna, are you
I think I'm caught up.
caught up? Okay, so Cal was next.
Yeah, just one comment about that, to me, a public report by definition only includes things that are for public consumption. So just throwing that out there. Also, I think we could just make this change and maybe move on with it from this one here. If we do, shall consider this evidence and may conduct a fair and public hearing. And then that should cover whatever we need to do to tie up some of these other loose ends
Yeah,
that we probably won't have time to do tonight.
right. Okay. Joan, did you have your hand up? Okay. Aaron?
just thinking about whether or not to do it in executive. A component of that may be how the information was received. If it's already out there and being discussed by the citizens, if it's
Well,
something like that,
you can't go that either, because I can discuss a whole lot of stuff that,
or brought forward by a
Is that
citizen.
accurate?
yeah, right. So, I think that,
I don't think our last executive session would have been very well put in the public.
I mean, it's pretty much up to the board how they wanted to approach any specific situation, right? I mean,
only if we have it in writing that it is. I mean, it kind of has to say that at the end or the beginning of the ordinance, that
that what?
that we have the right to
Waiver.
waive.
Like in the there are ordinances that basically tie our hands like outright.
Well, shall consider this evidence, is like I said,
That's another
and
thing.
may conduct a fair and public hearing. So the shall consider,
Yes.
I mean, just speaking about it in a board meeting is a consideration. And then if you back up that consideration either with meeting minutes and or a public report, then that board would have fulfilled that shall. It doesn't have to go into
Right, doesn't-
anything in particular, but like you said, some things may be, not for public consumption at first, if necessary, and some things may, so, and maybe that's something that we need to talk about in the code of conduct, section 3010 or something, but I don't think that's on the agenda tonight, so.
Right.
But I'm just thinking that that language or some language similar to that would cover those bases enough that we could move on this one.
Okay? Joan?
You just call them
I
there.
think the word shall, just putting that in there is really not defining it enough. I think then you're gonna have the people that says right here, you have to have a public hearing, what went on, and you went to executive session instead, that's not right. I don't know why you can't say, you shall have an executive session or a public hearing, or you may have an executive session which may lead to a public hearing, either one. But a little more defined than just the word shall, because people are gonna start picking it apart.
So the sh-
Guarantee you.
Yep, I'll agree with the shall be discussed in a executive session with the following as possible, whether it be
Maybe possible outcomes, maybe.
possible outcomes, reprimands, public hearings, whatever, and we can, Aaron?
So we'll remove demonstrable. Should the president or vice president be provided with evidence indicating that a member has violated any provisions of this chapter, an executive session shall be held to determine whether to conduct a fair and public hearing. So put it in a sequence. So if
Put
you
it
get
in a
into
sequence,
evidence,
mhm. Then we can decide the punishment, so to speak, at that time, whether it be letters in your files or a public hearing, or what else could there be? What other means of
right.
spankings can we give?
Hand slapping.
Calm down.
Better
Calm
check the
down.
code of conduct for that one.
I
So-
want to be in the code of conduct.
Sorry, Shanna, what was that?
To determine if, I don't know, I already forgot what I said, to determine if further action is required, or to determine which disciplinary action to enforce, or something.
There
to
you
that
go, I
effect,
like that
rather than
one.
listing all
Which
of them.
disciplinary action to
Always-
enforce?
Every time you have a list, there'll always be something that's not included.
Always, I know.
That's black or white,
Exactly, there
That's why
always
I
is.
tried
every
to
time.
avoid a list.
Yeah, right. So there'll be no list. Right, I gotcha.
Should the president?
so shall hold an executive session.
Board of Trustees shall hold an executive session to determine
Which or if or which disciplinary action
Which,
may be required, or is required. I'm not sure on the wording there, but it's an idea.
Okay.
okay. So that one's good then, right? We'll have that rewritten and come back to that at the next time, correct? Oh,
Just one thing I would put in, because executive session can appear private, is to have the law referenced, the law that permits executive sessions on the grounds of personnel discussions. So we can put right in there, hold executive session in accordance with, and specifically identify that it's an executive session to discuss personnel. So that there's no wiggle room as to why, like, we have to do this because it's a personnel thing. Yeah.
yes. Okay,
Yeah, it's a South Dakota codified law.
Yeah.
okay. All right. Everybody caught up to that point? So D, any expulsion and removal of a member of the Board of Trustees shall require a vote And removal by 4 members of the board. So is that how we still feel about that, that it takes 4? I think that's good. Everybody else?
Yeah, that's like the ultimate, like,
Okay,
it really needs to be,
so that one's fine. That needs no wording change.
It's a 2/3 majority.
Well, this would be of 4 members, so
Yeah.
that's more than 2/3.
Right. 2/3 majority is 2/3 or above.
I know.
Are we in quotations now?
Okay. All right, so are we done with that page? For
so
now.
D is good, A, B, C need work. Okay.
Do you have the air conditioner on, honey?
I did, because it was pretty cold.
I was thinking it was coming.
Yeah, it is cooling off in here plenty.
That's why I wore my long sleeve, because I knew by the time sun
I
goes down.
should have. That brings us to 1B, which is 30.07, board member attendance. A, to be considered as being in attendance for a regular meeting, Board of Trustee members must be physically present within 15 minutes after the scheduled opening of the meeting and remain physically present until adjournment of the meeting. Any variance of this regulation requires a majority vote from the present members. So it's been that way for a long time.
I actually, that one I shortened.
Okay,
It was, wait, no.
Well, this one's pretty direct and to the point.
mhm.
I don't see anything that needs to be changed.
To be considered. Yeah, I mean, I did do more work on that than I thought I. Yeah, but I did shorten it, and I changed it from 60% or 3/5 to majority because just
Okay,
kind of what I'm going at with this one is that like if somebody's late, you know, we can majority vote to excuse the lateness, or if they need to leave early or whatever, you know.
so everybody okay with A? Wording and all. Shanna?
Yes.
Yes. Cal?
So this is saying then you're not considered to be in attendance if you're attending electronically.
No,
right?
that's explained further down
Right.
where physically means, electronically also.
So one thing I did throughout this one is differentiate. So there's attendance, like if you're physically here, or participate, to kind of make sure that anywhere it's talking about electronic stuff, you're participating anytime it's like if you're physically here, it's attendance.
Can you say that again?
Anywhere where it's talking about physical presence, it's attendance. Anywhere where it's talking about electronic means, it's participation.
Oh, okay.
You're not considering them in attendance?
Not if they're,
Well, then that
well,
should be physically or electronically present.
Yeah, I don't like it to just say physically either, because that makes it sound like we're right here in this chair. So I would agree that needs to be
separate.
separate.
Yeah, no, you
Okay.
can, yeah, that's kind of what I was going for, is you really, I mean, there is a difference between being here and not being here, and having the wording kind of
Yep.
make sure that's.
So maybe it just needs to be, must be present. So,
Be a live person.
and then I don't also agree with the present members deal either. Present members, so if there's only 3 people here, 2 could vote them out. I don't know that I like that. I think that needs to be a full board decision.
Wait, what's that now?
At the very end of that paragraph, majority vote from the present members. So,
Oh, that's the majority, so,
Attending
same meeting.
members.
oh, all right, so that majority vote is to excuse somebody from, not to, it's to excuse somebody for being late or needing to leave early.
Yeah, well, I
With the
understand that,
present-
but
with
I
the
don't think
present
the
members.
present members could be only 3 people could be here that night. And I think it should be the whole board voting on that, not just 3 people.
But you're excusing them for coming in late and maybe leaving early, so the ones that are present.
Are the only
would
ones.
Are
do
the only
the
ones who should
voting.
vote on whether or not the other
Yeah,
people get
would do
excused.
the voting. I mean,
I know, but I've seen where that could be a bad thing, so. It's just all
I
I'm saying.
I mean, yeah, I suppose.
from the present members, from
Could
the,
agree on a full board, but then you might come into a situation where it messes up payroll when you're waiting on the next regular meeting to determine if the board member got paid for the last meeting for being 20 minutes late instead of 15 or something.
I mean, we could technically, any variance of this regulation requires 2 votes from present members. I mean, if that's what you're worried about, so 2 people can excuse somebody else's absence.
That's what it says now.
2, yeah, 2, well, majority vote, 2 or 3.
See, nothing's ever as simple as we think
No.
it should be. And this is proof of that right here. And so, that is why it takes work sessions and time to make changes and to come up with new ordinances and So tell me, everybody else is okay with this except for me?
Majority vote?
Majority vote, yes.
I don't know how
I see where
you,
you're coming from, and it's always been done the same
so
meeting.
can you say,
You know, someone gets there late, somebody will make a motion
Same
and
means the
second
same
to go ahead and pay them for the meeting. I've never seen it done any other way. So it would be a suggestion to change the way that it's currently being done. I'm not necessarily against it.
And this only applies to people who are late or people who leave early, not
Yeah.
people who are absent.
Right.
So this is kind of a,
Okay,
Niche
let's leave it.
situation.
Let's just leave it then. Everybody okay?
I mean, we're already gonna be looking at a second draft and probably
Yeah,
making
I know.
adjustments again, so.
Yeah. So, okay. So that brings us to C. All members of the Board of Trustees may participate in regular meetings, special meetings, and
you missed B, didn't you?
that's
B,
what we
I
were,
had a question on
you
A.
had to
Or
see.
Linda.
what, huh? Well, wait just a minute here. Let's start with Joan.
I had a question on A. I know you were discussing physically, I don't know what was decided, did you change it to physically or electronically present?
No, just present. And then we'll define it
Okay,
in the definitions.
being present, so being present
I'm sorry, I
It's okay.
missed.
for a regular meeting.
And then I would.
No, it's already says
define the word
pheasant,
majority to see if that's
Okay.
something you want to come back to.
being in
Right.
attendance, okay.
Cal, do you have something? No. Okay. Sorry, I did kind of miss speed, didn't I? I was moving forward. I was trying,
I thought, well,
okay.
maybe I missed something, then
All right, B. All members of the Board of Trustees shall be physically present for at least 4 regular meetings per quarter. Any regular meeting absence to be excused from this requirement shall require a unanimous vote from the present members. Any excused absence shall only be valid when clearly noted in the minutes of the meeting in question. So that has gone from 3 to 4 to 2 to now whatever we decide upon. And I have a personal feeling about this. I think that you need to also include special meetings and work sessions. special meetings in particular. But, so my point is, like, you could be physically present, or you could be present for 3 regular meetings and a combination of 2 work sessions or 2 special meetings. I just think that you can't, so, I mean, if we're not all here, if we do not have a majority for equalization meeting,
There's no
this is
sense in
not
it.
good.
Yeah.
If we do not have a majority for budget meetings, that's not good either. So I think we need to add, it's taking away from the importance of special meetings and also work sessions. Cal?
What
Just remove the word regular.
What percentage of the meetings per quarter is for regular meetings? What per-
Quarter,
2/3.
50%, or
Two-
6.
2/3.
So there's 6 regular meetings per quarter?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or, yeah, 2/3.
the other angle, which may be considered for discussion, is to, instead of do per quarter, do per year. Is another angle to take on this, because that opens up you can maybe not necessarily make it looser or more strict depending on things, but you can create a window where if somebody has a situation where they're going to be absent for an extended period of time, it's not necessarily related to that quarter of the year.
No, that's a thought too. Somebody has major surgery or has to go to
Exactly.
somewhere and be gone for 2 months or be out of capacity. No, I ain't going, no, nobody, no
thought you were
surgeries for me,
planning
nope,
vacation.
nope. Oh, vacation, that's another
That's what I
story.
was getting.
Oh. Well, I mean, that has its merit too, so takes consideration. Cal, what do you think?
I don't know. I try to be here every meeting. I don't know if I've missed one yet. I'm trying to beat Donna's attendance record, but, you know. I mean, obviously, we need to be here, and, I understand the need for this, I guess, but I just don't know what the number should be.
Okay.
Well, yeah, it was 2, then it was 3.
Yeah.
No, it was
It was 3, then
3,
4,
then 4,
then 2.
Not exactly, but
I don't
Kind
think
of.
it was ever 3, but I would suggest it be 3.
it was
Somewhere
3
in the middle.
before. Yeah.
It was 3 a long time ago. Before your time, Shanna.
Before my time?
Mm-hmm.
And,
I can't believe you could remember something that far back, Linda.
Excuse me.
My memory for way back is better than what it is for right now, hon. Sorry, but
It was 3 up until Dan worked and Mitch worked on it in 2022. I believe it was 3 up until that point. I believe, and then it went to 4 and then down to 2. Not down to 2. I keep saying down to 2 because that's. But
it went to 2.
well, 2, and 2, 2 in person, 2 electronic, and 2 absences is what the intention was of the
That
last.
was the intent, but that's
Right.
not what happened.
Which is
That
exactly
is not what they signed off on.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
Cal,
Yeah.
I think Donna had her hand up first.
okay, Donna.
Well, I think it's
Thank you, Cal.
important to be at the meetings because you get so much more out of it. If you're online or whatever, you may not hear what somebody else said and then you're in the dark. You know, I just think it's important to be in attendance and, you know.
Okay.
Never tried online, how would you know?
Cal. That's
Excuse
great.
me, what'd you say?
She said you have not tried it online, so you don't have the clearest picture of what you would get from that. So, Cal.
I like the number 2/3 for required attendance,
Okay.
because if 2/3 is good enough to amend the Constitution, And it should be good enough for us for this as a bare minimum of attendance.
Okay,
I'm gonna say, I
Aaron?
think four is, I
Four is
think four is a good number. 4 per quarter, or that would be
that would be 8 for a year.
8 absences.
8 absences, and if you
Or
had
16
all 8
attendance.
absences in a year, in a row, that's 4 months.
Yeah,
That makes it difficult, I think.
that,
That's a long time to miss if you're doing them all in a row. So, but I agree, I like the 4, I think the 4 is fine, as long as it is present and the online present is a fits into that category. What are you looking for, sir?
yeah, just one thing I wanted to bring up is,
Okay.
this was brought up to me. So this is in South Dakota codified law, and it does apply to officers of the town. In cases where any member is incapacitated by illness or an accident which causes the member to be unable to attend meetings of the governing body or fulfill the duties of the office, the member may elect to temporarily resign from the governing body or office. Notice of temporary resignation may be given in the same manner as giving notice of resignation. If the member is unable to give notice, the member's spouse or guardian or any person who has durable power of attorney for the member may give notice of resignation. A temporary placement may be made in accordance with the provisions of statute applying to the governing body. The temporary member shall serve until the member is able to fulfill the requirement of office or until the expiration of the member's term, whichever comes first. So the way, and so we talk about that long period of time, like 4 months, right? I don't think any of us see a situation where somebody's going to be gone for 4 months unless it's a medical thing,
No, that's what yeah.
right? So one thought I had is this just says they resign and then the body
Temporarily resign.
that's the emphasis, because
Right.
they do come right back in and resume their term. But one thing I thought about is, for one, referencing this, but also considering, when possible, that person's input on who.
Well, that's kind of what I'm thinking, because I feel like I hold a certain set of values and into my position, what I got voted in for. And so is it up to, I think it should be up to me who takes my place. That's of a person that I think would vote the same way as I would vote. So if we could put that into the ordinance, I think that would be a good thing. So like in this situation, Shanna, I'm gonna pick on you for a minute, honey. So Shanna, if you have to, something happens and you get really bad again and you're gonna miss, a couple months worth of meetings, so you could appoint, let's say, your mother to fill your position for those 2 months.
So does this have to be approved on by the other board
It's
members?
not like a
Or?
leave of absence and a temporary resignation.
A leave of absence instead of, that's.
It doesn't
good.
sound as mean, right?
It doesn't sound as bad, you're right,
Yeah,
that's a
yeah.
good one, I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, Cal?
I don't know if this is productive or not, but if we appointed Joan in Shanna's absence, then we wouldn't have to change the sign.
Yay!
Good one, Cal. Don't cost any money.
All right,
We're always trying to save.
make sure you get that on recording.
Aaron.
I think this was mentioned to me, and I don't think it was really, it obviously isn't currently being addressed, but we could put in there so we can, but maybe not necessarily, oh, this person's gonna take my place, but maybe consider
I mean, like I said, does the board,
Recommendation.
Recommendation.
yeah, do we get to accept it? I don't know.
because you don't necessarily, well, I'm thinking about this board, and then I've got to think about possible future situations. There may be
Other
somebody down
boards.
the road that you don't want to be able to say, I want this
Right,
guy to be
yeah, you're right.
my dude.
Yep, good point, so that's good. with the member being able to, the board member being able to suggest a member to take their spot, or a citizen to take their spot.
Recommendation?
Pardon me?
Make a recommendation.
Make a recommendation that a person take their, a certain person take their spot, and then with board approval.
For their replacement.
Yep, for their replacement. Temporary replacement,
Temporary replacement.
yes, temporary. Aaron,
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to control the floor, just I keep thinking of other
That's
things that I've
what
thought
we're
about when I
for.
think about, and another one is, this doesn't have anything involving a timeline, like a period of time. The only reason I think that might be significant is, because it is a 3-year term, you maybe don't necessarily want to have somebody come in and end up going that duration of the 3-year term, so maybe we do want for a period of up to 1 year or something like that. So
okay, gotcha.
the interim gets brought in, and if a year goes by and the original person is unable to,
I think a year is too long. I would say 6 months is a great plenty, because that would be 1 full year of your allowed absences and half of another year of your absences required.
Isn't that a codified law that gives you up until your return or the end of your,
Well, could be, yeah.
yeah, it gives you, but you can always make it more, that's,
You can make it
more
stricter.
stricter, but you can't.
cannot make it looser, you can
Right.
make it stricter, correct.
Yeah.
Joan,
Well, maybe you could just, of course, that all depends on when something happens, but you know, you could always just have in there until the next election.
Yeah.
And then,
which might only be a month.
But that's exactly what I was about to say. What if they're through, what if petitions are due
yeah,
in 2 weeks? So there's like this
I'll
weirdness.
be honest, I have 2 surgeries coming up that'll hopefully be done at the same time, and that's an 8-week recovery period.
okay,
So that's 2 months. It might take 3 between travel time there and back and whatnot. And I'll probably wait till till the next term. I'm not sure until I'm done with this term. But that would be an example for you to use.
right.
Is 4 months too long? Is 3 months too long? I think a year is being generous.
You think a year is what?
It's a generous exception.
Okay, all right, Cal?
I mean, I'm just gonna go back to the 2/3, and you can determine whatever period you want to encompass that, but
Because you're
2/3 can also apply to the special meetings and stuff like that too. And then we just have one number to refer to it.
At each thing, so 2/3. So basically, you're saying that out of a 3-year term, a person could actually miss an entire year.
Well,
So,
only if you set the period by which the 2/3 resets as the term.
right,
As it is
And
now,
then if they
the
appoint
period
somebody
is,
to sit in their
1/4.
place, that would physically be there.
yeah, and if somebody else is sitting in your place,
Or
then,
if they were there online and we actually had a system that the microphones worked well so you could hear well.
we're gonna get that done. It is gonna happen, we're gonna get this better. Because
So my point being, when we did that interview with that guy, other than the hearing issue, I was just as comfortable interviewing him through that process than if he was in front of us.
right. Okay, well, and I think he was just as comfortable with it too. So,
Right.
my opinion on
For
that.
me, I'm okay with meeting attendance that way for that purpose. I didn't feel like I would have got any more out of it by him sitting in front of us than viewing him through the screen.
Okay, gotcha, excuse me. I get the hiccups now. Okay, so should we try that with just the 2/3 then, in all the cases?
2/3 of meetings. Sorry, just
2/3 of work sessions, 2/3 of,
Per quarter?
no, not per quarter.
well, we can't really know how many work sessions there are going to be in.
No, you don't know.
Or special.
That's, I mean, for now, we're having a lot of them, but I'm hoping that in a very short amount of time, not that short, but, we won't be having one every Tuesday, you know? I'd like to get this wrapped up, but we got a long ways to go,
Going
but,
down sometime soon though?
pardon me, Shanna?
With these fifths and the way they're going, do you really see that slowing down?
No. No, I don't.
I don't either, honestly.
I
Are you
do.
talking about the word physically in this paragraph B?
Well, it all needs to be, present, being present. May okay. Did we get done with B? Are we done with B?
Well, what's our
Did you
number?
decide on a number and a time?
We're
Two-thirds.
still on B, aren't we?
Two-thirds would be for regular meetings. So,
At least 4 per quarter or?
I mean, we
Or-
could do
We can't have an or, because then it gets easy.
2/3.
It's confusing.
thought it was
of regular
3 per
meetings
year
and
or something.
2/3 of special meetings. Work sessions, I think, could be a separate thing,
Separate?
you know? I mean, the thing is it doesn't matter if you don't know how many there are gonna be, because 2/3 is 2/3.
Right.
That way you can just say, you
Right.
should be here at least 66% of the time. That's a D minus, okay? If you can get a D minus, you can stay.
Who's gonna be the teacher? Do the grading.
I guess
That's
the
right.
problem would come is if in that particular quarter you only had one special meeting, how do you count a portion of a meeting?
Well, it's
Just have to go
2/3 or greater.
Well, if it's only one meeting and they miss it, then that's automatically
Yeah,
less than 2/3.
right,
True, okay. You're
yeah.
right.
And that's like, that's like, oh, you just missed the one special meeting we decided, it's because you were on vacation and you had no choice, and now you're,
Well, I mean, special meetings are as important as regular meetings. They require quorum, and the reason why you have them is because there's
They're
business
needed.
that has to be attended to at that time.
Right.
Like we did last week with the
Work orders.
work orders and the, what do you call them,
Change order.
I can't remember what
Change
they're called
orders.
now.
Change orders.
Change orders. Yeah, we had to do those. So, if we didn't have a quorum, then whoever wasn't there should be, you know.
So special meetings can just be added to regular meetings. It can't be on its own then,
Two-thirds of all meetings.
of all meetings.
Work sessions, you don't have to consider them a meeting.
Right.
yeah, I'm kind of
Well,
with,
then, but that indicates that special meetings are not any more special than a regular meeting.
And they aren't. It just happened that you had to have it before your next regular meeting.
Irregular scheduled, right.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Well,
scheduled.
Isn't the whole
It
reason
was
to have
special
it?
because you couldn't wait that week for your next meeting. That
Well,
was the only-
that's exactly my point. That's what makes them special.
Well, yeah,
That,
so
that,
whose
that,
fault was that time constrained?
that
Sometimes.
that timing is of the essence, and so we should actually put a exclamation point on that by doing the 2/3.
But you kind of can't,
I
because
know, it's
just-
what if I have open heart surgery scheduled? And you guys, something happens and you have to have a special meeting. I shouldn't be punished because I had open heart surgery. Same thing goes, if I'm already on vacation, I'm certainly not gonna come back from Arizona to be at a special meeting, so. I mean, my point is I don't believe it's really any more important than a regular meeting, but it is as important. So putting it in the same category as regular, so add regular and special meetings, 2/3. Instead of separating it, just put it right in with the regular.
Wasn't that 2/3 of all meetings, since work sessions aren't?
Well, if you're not including, right, if you're not including the work sessions, if you want them on its own line item. Or you're not adding, not gonna put any regulation on work sessions at all?
There's no quorum required for them.
No quorum,
There's
so-
no official business coming out of them.
So, okay, good.
I mean, that's really the main issue with why people need to be here.
Right.
Why they need to be here, you know?
Aaron?
So that's kind of, so we keep saying regular and special meetings, but really those both fall under official meetings, right? Because like,
Yep,
because if
very
you're
good.
not in a work session, if you're in a work session, you don't necessarily need a quorum, it's not an official meeting.
You don't vote, you don't, yep, okay.
Anytime, yeah.
Official meeting, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay,
From regular meeting, scratch official. Okay,
Mhm.
and we're going from 2/3 per quarter is what we're going? Or for at least 2/3 per quarter of official meetings? Is that,
So, but.
I still kinda like the whole year thing. That's kinda,
2/3 per year?
yeah, it kind of is good for the medical part of it, you know? I don't maybe like it so much for vacation part of it.
You're the only one that goes on vacation.
Yeah, you're the only one who gets a qualification.
And then I'm telling you, I don't believe that's fair. I don't believe it's fair for me to be gone 3 months on a vacation and not be a part of this board sitting here. Now, it's different when it's a surgery and it's a medical thing than in my opinion anyway.
It's actually 4 months that's permissible under the 2/3.
Oh, you're correct. You are correct. Yep, sorry. Yes.
So you could go on a 4-month vacation.
Oh, gosh, I wish I could afford it.
Who's putting it for 3 days?
Yeah.
So we can just put it right in there for medical reasons.
Do you even want to list that?
Well, there you see, what's medical? I have a sore tooth. I'm teasing, of course, but you know what I mean. Aaron,
The one thing though is so it seems to be that we're shifting everything to just present, including both electronic and in person. Is that kind of
present is electronic and in person, yes.
Okay, so are we going in the direction of there's going to be no in-person requirement at all? Because that's kind of
I
That's a slippery
think,
slope.
and this is my own opinion, and you know, I am not a computer person and I'm not online. I do the phone thing. I guess I can figure out how to do the online thing, but don't we have to go that way? The way the world is going now, don't we have to go that way?
what do you mean?
Allowing it to be present by electronic means.
Unilaterally with
Yeah, don't we? I mean, isn't that the way the world's going? Are we ahead? Are we a little ahead of time? Maybe. But, I mean, when you've got how much of the population working from home, which I'm not saying it's right, I'm just saying that's the way it is right now. And you've got, how do you not allow it? I don't know. Where's everybody else sit with that? Nobody likes it, huh? I know.
Well, I like
I'm
you
fine
on
being
that.
the
You're
enemy here and just saying I think at
Electronic.
least half.
Smart.
Yeah. So it wouldn't be
I
me
mean, I can do
anyway.
online
In
banking,
general,
yeah,
should
I
be
can
in
do
person.
that, I can look at my, but
Yeah. Joan, sorry.
No, that's fine. I think I forgot what I wanted to say, but I don't think that you need something in there saying you can only attend by electronic means so many times. I have not seen anyone abusing that feature. Haven't heard of anyone just laying around home watching TV with the phone in their ear because they didn't want to come up here, because they all know they get a much better meeting in person. I just think it's over control. I don't,
We're overthinking it? Okay.
I mean, should it become a problem, then I can
Even I wouldn't miss
understand.
a whole year.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear that, Shannon.
Well, that's,
I think it is a little overthought.
it's
I
not
mean,
even
until
just
it becomes an issue and they have to amend it down the road,
Mm-hmm.
maybe that's another 20, 30 years before they get that far.
Okay. Everybody else?
I think we've hashed it and rehashed it. We need to think of, can't we
Put it together the way we have it now and then
talk
do a
about it?
second
Talk-
draft again.
second, yep.
So you want to, we're in B.
I think Dan had his hand up.
Oh, Dan?
I think your CD and E kind of does your electronic stuff pretty clearly, and I think our biggest thing, Aaron's hit on it really well, is that presence was a big thing because you were elected by the people, and that's what we've always stated, and that the vacation thing, we didn't think was a fair thing ever, you know, because if you're gonna take 3 months and go away, it's not fair to the participation of the other board, but your electronics is all covered in the next 3 paragraphs of what can and can't be done. And to me, I think your presence is very important. I always have it. You know, I get where you're going with the electronic side of it, but that should be more in an emergency medical or whatever circumstance. I mean, you guys are all present and everybody works hard towards it. I mean, look at Aaron, he's been up here busting his ass every day trying to put stuff into the computer. Well, you can't do that electronically from.
Aaron?
I think Dan kind of touched on the point. You know, we really aren't here for us. We're here for them, and we have to, as much as we don't want to. We have to kind of, you know, we gotta put a certain threshold on what they can expect from us. Nobody knew that. Everybody knew this was not going to be an easy conversation. That's for sure.
Right.
And I think we're doing really good so far.
Oh, I think we
Hopefully.
were discussing,
feel like
we're putting our points out and our thoughts and we're not arguing and I think we're doing a very good job and that's why I'm saying these things take time. You don't just change,
Well, yeah, you can't just
no, you just,
read it and have it.
yeah. Some things are
You have
more
to think about it.
time consuming than others and this is one of them. So are you saying you want to put in there the physical presence must be 1/3 of the time?
So if we have 2/3, I mean, if we have 2/3 presence, participation, 1/3 physical, I hate to say it, but what we really end up with is the goal of the last time this was. That everybody I talked to was involved in writing it last time. That was the goal.
But it wasn't what was said.
Right,
It wasn't
exactly.
what's
Which
written
was
down.
not fair. It was not fair to any of us. It was not fair to Shanna. Fairness is.
But it got signed by the people
Right.
that were trying to put it forward. So,
Yeah.
yes, Joan.
Maybe you could just have something in there, you know, extended electronic attendance must be pre-approved. That way, if you know someone's going in for surgery and they think they can attend by telecommunication, the board as a whole can approve that. To basically keep it from becoming consistent.
Consistent. Okay.
You
Aaron-
know, if
Aaron's
they're
next.
electronically, then not at all.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sorry. So I actually have a word in here, the with no limits I want to remove because we haven't gotten to it yet, but what C effectively says is that no matter what, you can always attend any meeting electronically. It just refers back to the physical. So that's kind of like
Saying you could attend all of them.
you can attend all of them electronically. However, you still have a physical attendance threshold. So like you have to attend X number physically, but you can attend as all the remaining electronically. So there's not a certain, because that's the last version of it kind of made it seem like you can only attend 2 electronically if you review it one way. You can attend all of them electronically if you interpret it another way. Everybody I talked to interpreted it the existing ordinance in different. There's like 5 different ways people interpreted it, which is madness. It's madness.
A lot has to do with the wording.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So,
Yeah.
all members of the board may participate in official meetings, special, okay, so we're taking out the special, we're taking out the work session. All members of the board may participate in official meetings via electronic means, including teleconference, telephone, or the like. However, participation via electronic means shall not exempt members from obligations set forth in B. Which is the 4 regular meetings per, okay.
So do you kind of, that's,
Kinda makes sense then.
so I can go through the way I structured it and why I structured it, just so you can kind of, so part of the reason I wanted everybody to just read it is to get this feedback, without having the discussion first, is to see how it's being interpreted. So the goal is, okay, let's set a number of meetings you have to attend in person, but all the rest you can attend electronically. Then if somebody has a situation where they're going to miss the meeting, we can waive that in that meeting, like to really create a sequence to where any situation can be accounted for regardless of the nature of the situation, but have oversight to it and have it be procedural. And it's really hard to do that.
Yeah. Can I say something here?
Sure, you're next.
It kind of goes back to, if it was 1/3 or 2/3, serve my 6 months so that I can go spend winter in another city. And if you have to determine if you're okay with that, if someone's only physically present in our state for half the year, however long you make it, I think we need to think about that, especially if we're not including those electronic attendances in paragraph C. But maybe something like no more than half or a third of all attended meetings for calendar year shall be done so through electronic means, but you won't know until the end of the year, 3 months before the next election. I'm a there, and it's confusing. And how do you?
Yeah, that's
How do you
watching the
determine?
calendar
Don't know.
there, without a doubt. That would be watching the calendar.
And
Aaron?
yeah, and that's kind of that's like why I just kind of tried to get to the point where it would be meeting by, oh, so and so is not here. Well, we know why they're not here. Motion to
Approve.
excuse their absence. Whatever the reason may be, if the remaining board members agreed, no, that's a logical reason. Now there's a catch to that too, because maybe one board member is dissenting without really legitimate grounds, then that's kind of, what is it, gross discrimination. Anyways, but I mean, maybe that's too complicated to even think about. But basically, make it so that every single meeting, if somebody's not here, the board could say, all right, this person's here for X reason. Do we make a motion to excuse the absence? And once that gets to the next one, which we haven't touched on, I do need to tweak that. But if that absence excused, then that's when it makes it so that being here electronically is the same as if they were being here in person. So it would really come down to like a meeting by meeting.
Then it really makes it easy to gang up on one person that the rest of the board might want gone.
If all 4 members, I don't see
I'm not speaking of this board.
yeah, I hear what you're saying though. Yeah, that may be a thing.
Well,
Okay.
if they don't wanna get kicked out, they should be here.
Yeah.
Joan?
I would just be really, with all this discussion, I'd be very interested in seeing what this looks like with other towns, what they put in place. Just to maybe make it a little simpler and
Okay?
I'm of curiosity mostly, if we can have this big of a discussion over what have others decided, what do they consider as appropriate as far as telecommunication, as far as attending
Absence.
meetings both ways. You know, are they splitting it up or are they saying you're here? I mean, you know, if they're on Zoom, they would be just as clear as sitting here with their positions, their ideas, and listening to yours. A telephone, I will admit, is a lot harder. But it's just a curiosity. I just really think it might help to know some of that.
Okay?
I have a quick comment on that.
Okay?
Was there a big thing on the Senate floor about the president making the senators return to the floor instead of teleconference, and the breastfeeding mom brought her baby? Just like a week ago.
Wasn't that was a while ago, wasn't it?
I mean, it's interesting to see because, you know, they've even tried it in Washington and
Yep,
never easy.
right, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so how about we know there's changes that need to be made. We've stated a few of them, and let's do some more research and bring the rest of this to the next meeting. Okay? Aaron?
Yeah, we've got 3006 where we know what we want to change in that, and we know what we want to change in A and B. At least some of it, so that we have, yeah. So am I good to make these?
Yeah, start
Changes
making the
and-
change, and it just makes it easier to read. If we can follow the good, we might be here many times, changing it over and over.
And I
But-
don't think we should rush this one because it's been touched twice in the past 2 years.
Right,
Three.
so we
Well,
need
we're
to
not
be.
really in that big of a hurry, are we?
No. But it stinks that it's not clear as it is, but
Right. Okay, Cal.
I suggest that you take your ideas and make kind of either a flow chart or a diagram of what this ordinance is meant to do, and then show how the language captures that. And then that way we can see the intent and see the language and make sure that everybody agrees that they line up, or if the intent is something that they don't agree with, then we can work on that and then change the language to suit. But the thing is the way that we should be approaching these is decide how we would like this business to proceed, and then craft a language such that that decision is captured in the ordinance, right? Which, I mean, I think we need to make a real methodical approach on this, so we don't just keep going around in circles.
well, to that point, if we do that with this one and we figure out a system, like an actual system
Wouldn't that be
works, and
nice?
apply to all the ordinances. How many 40 pages of ordinances we got on the books this year to look at?
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Well, yeah. Are you guys tired?
I thought we'd go through D,
All right.
and then we'll give it up. Then we'll have been here for 2 hours.
Okay.
Okay? All right, so D, a member electing to participate via electronic means will notify the finance officer or president no later than 1 hour prior to the beginning of the meeting as scheduled. It shall be the responsibility of the member participating via electronic means to facilitate and establish the same. So Joan,
I'm just, how can a member facilitate that if it's telecommunications and it's Zoom or it's some other program you have? That would have to be the office facilitating that so they can join in.
Yeah.
So, maybe I'm misunderstanding it, but that's how I'm reading it.
okay?
This one I'll be straight on. This is actually one big addition, and it's partly because of the idea of there needs to be something, which this is how it needs to be carried forward, because it's like it's honestly not fair to the finance officer to have to try to just kind of figure out how to make this happen.
Well, and in my opinion is that as far as the president goes, they're not always in this office. It's, the president's gonna have to go through the finance officer
Exactly.
to do it, so that should be out of there too.
So
Office staff,
notify just office staff,
or whatever you wanna call it there, yeah.
office
Personnel.
personnel.
You know, what you gotta remember though is your office staff isn't at this meeting, your finance officer is. So really, if she's gonna send out an invite for one of your board members to join, she's probably the one that's gonna have to set it up. And it wouldn't be something she doesn't know how to do.
It wouldn't be the, okay, so the finance officer then. Terry, you've been very quiet, I haven't asked for your opinions, are
I'm
you,
good.
you agree with that, the finance officer then?
Yep.
Okay. All right,
Okay, we're doing that twice.
is that her problem? Shannon, did you try to say something there, hon?
Oh, well, it's just a comment, and it's not against anybody, and just the FO work description or job description, however you name it, is, one of the main purposes is to being secretary to the board. So I would agree that it would be her
Okay.
or anyone else she directs in the office.
Or her direction, right,
Yeah.
Erin could set it up.
If
yeah,
it's on their end, to keep trying to contact that person to get them hooked up, throughout the meeting or
okay,
for
gotcha,
15 minutes.
yep, okay. So with that, everything's good, just with that little minor change then, right? Yes, no?
What's that? Office, a member electing to participate
Notify the
via,
finance.
The finance officer, not
will
the
notify the,
Finance officer.
finance
so turn that
officer,
back to finance
Yeah.
officer? So we're leaving that as finance officer,
but taking out or president.
taking out or president?
Mm-hmm. And then is the no later than 1 hour prior, is that fair? I'm thinking of now your time frame and what you have to do before your meetings. Is the hour good for that?
Well, usually if our meetings are until 6, I have that hour from 5 to 6 that I don't plan anything because,
Okay,
So what would it,
Joan?
If she had to schedule a telecommunications meeting, 1 hour is not sufficient. I don't think. I think they need to let you know a little sooner. Because,
Well, can we say
you
no?
know, if you have that all set up, I guess then all she has to do is send the invite, that's fine.
Yes, it's an
But if she has to set it up, I don't know how long that takes. I'm just saying,
It
that's
doesn't-
just cutting
Well,
right into her time
Discord, we don't.
of whatever she does right before this meeting to make sure you guys all have everything.
That's my point, that's what I'm saying,
Yeah,
you
I don't
know.
think that's enough notice.
Aaron?
so, just one thing is, so the system that's set up right now, the Discord, it's always open, there's no invites. It's like, almost like walking to a room. You
But-
click the button and you're in the room where it's a true teleconference. So once you open the software and you enter the room, you don't need an invitation or
Oh,
anything.
that's wonderful.
It's one and done. It's a server. So once you've,
How do you allow your other board member to speak if they're on their
what do you mean?
Discord?
As soon, it's the same. So it's like two people walking into a virtual room. It's a space.
So they can,
They always 100% of the time can be in that room. All they need to do is go to the software and enter that room.
that's wonderful.
So there's no need to send any invites or anything.
It just has to be up here and up at their home, correct?
Right, that's it, yeah. It's so essentially notify, as far as Discord, it would be, all right, open the software, and the way that it's set up, as soon as the software is open, that meeting room is open, and everybody who, eventually, I mean, it could be multiple people too. That's why, like, with Linda on the phone the other night, I was thinking, all right, now I need to get Linda on Discord. Because you heard the clarity of Shanna's audio versus Linda's. They could be in the same room, in the same software, seeing
I'm
each other in
anxious
the
to see
room.
that.
Huh?
That sounds great, I'm anxious to see it.
Yeah, it's not like
Well,
Teams
you
where you
guys
have to
call
send
in next
invite and
week,
all
right?
that.
Yeah, we'll all call in, huh?
Yeah.
Okay,
So technically, 15 minutes would be enough for her to go over there and double click on the the room so it's open, so I can, so you're there when, like. this
Technically,
evening when
but I
opened
think-
Discord, nobody was there.
Yeah, I think an hour's fair.
Open Discord, you would have double clicked and done.
Yeah, yeah. I think an hour is fair then. Yep,
So we're good with no later than 1 hour prior to the beginning, and then we're on to the next
no later than 1
Then
hour.
that should include, my
meeting.
feeling is it should include, unless voted upon the board. Because you might find that you're in a total storm or a hailstorm and you have to pull over on your way back from Rapid on your way to a meeting. And you might want to attend that way, and you might not have more than 15 minutes. I think an hour is safe too. I'm just saying that sometimes you don't know till the last minute.
Right, yep,
I always try to give as much notice as I can.
right.
So if the board would vote, you know, like that, a snowstorm or hailstorm or something like that came up, and you're not gonna make it in time and you're gonna have to attend, that the board could vote to go ahead and include that as a condition.
Well, and that holds true for any of these, latest illnesses. My God, some of those come up in a matter of snap your fingers too, you know? You can feel great one minute and not the next, but,
Well, I had every intention of being there tonight till I got out of the shower and had to crawl back into bed with wet hair. So I didn't know either till 10 to 4, but
right,
it was an hour, but it was only 10 minutes till the water meeting, which I had planned on attending, but at least it was an hour for the work session.
the water meeting, would anybody mind if I just throw in quick how that water meeting went right now? So while we're talking about it, is everybody okay with that? It was, this Missouri water project could take, and probably will take up to, 20 to 40 years to get completed. So it was, it's not like it was an urgent meeting for anybody to attend. There was a few, interesting points to it that I'm sure Anthony will bring up at the next meeting. And that's it, so. Okay? All right, so back to that. So yeah, where are we at then on the 1 hour, the time frame? What does everybody think? Cal?
We should be able to do E in 10 minutes, can't we?
Maybe, but we're still on D here, so.
No, I thought-
1 hour,
Yeah, you're probably gonna be the easiest one, but yeah.
1 hour, half hour, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, a week?
1 hour.
I think 1 hour. I think.
Cal?
An hour,
So,
E.
an hour is it. Okay, that moves us to E. We still have a few minutes until we've been here for 2 hours, so let's go ahead and look at it. Board of Trustees members participating in a meeting through electronic means shall have all the rights and privileges of those members physically present at the meeting, with the exception of executive session. If the Board of Trustees president participates in the meeting through electronic means, the meeting will be chaired by the vice president or a trustee named by the president in the absence of the vice president. No individual may participate in executive session via electronic means, and motions resulting from executive session shall not be voted on via electronic means. I think that's all just pretty stated, real clear, and that's good as it is. Does everybody else feel the same way?
Yeah.
Cal,
What?
do you feel that needs any changes, or it's okay just the way it is?
I don't.
Okay,
Anything wrong?
okay. Aaron?
This is the other one. This is one other thing I flipped. Is this used to say that you could vote on motions resulting from an executive session, and I do not see how anybody could ever do that without
Yeah, without being there.
and not having it be a sketchy situation.
Yep.
Like,
I'll
if you
agree
weren't
with you.
there,
Yep.
you're. Yeah. We don't need to dig into that. I don't think.
Because
But
we should be reporting the executive session, which is the whole point, to avoid it, correct?
Mm-hmm, yep.
yeah.
Yep.
And well, even it's like if a discussion happened and you weren't there, how could you possibly have anything? Like, how could you cast a fair vote
Agree.
if you weren't there?
Okay, so are we done, or do people wanna tackle 1C? There's only an A and a B there. Board members' compensation.
You got 4 minutes.
Got 4 minutes. A, in order to receive payment for meeting attendance, members must be present, take out physically, present or excused from absence under conditions described in,
Is that 3010 or 37?
30.07, A.
09.
30.09.
Yeah, 3009 should be.
3009?
It says
Yeah, maybe on the
30.07.
bottom, the bottom page.
Oh, the page we're on is 3009. It references 3007.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
So 3007 is correct.
Yes.
Okay.
So I think just taking out the physically must be present or excused, I think is good, right? Everybody agree? Joan?
What exactly does that mean? I mean, if they're excused from absence, meaning they're not here, correct? Then why would they get paid?
Well, yeah, I don't think they should either, but.
So that's actually referencing the one where if somebody's late,
Late.
or has to leave
Yeah.
early.
Oh,
Very specifically, if somebody's late or has to leave early.
maybe,
That needs to be added.
well, yeah, the word
That's-
absence makes me think they're not even here. And I'm wondering, why are you paying them if they're not here? But I understand what he's saying,
Yeah.
it's just not hard on this.
I know,
Yeah, well, it's,
I know, it's,
Well, we just had a 3-hour discussion on you could be here but not be here, so. Yeah, I can see why you're confused.
So are you here?
no. Okay, so that brings us to B. Any variance of this regulation made with regards to special meetings or work sessions shall require a majority vote of the board at the next regular meeting. Members present from the special meeting or work session in question shall not vote on motions regarding compensation of the same. So,
I agree with that. If you're not at the session, you shouldn't.
well, if
be
you're
able
not
to-
there, you don't get paid. I mean, that's,
And, yeah, but you can't vote
said
either,
present.
right?
Right, exactly. You shouldn't influence whether or not the people who were there are getting paid, if that sounds fair. you
Right,
know,
yeah,
'cause
yep.
That, again, we gotta look into the future where we might have somebody who's
not us.
trying
Not
to twist
us.
the knife, right?
Not
us. Different board.
Yeah. And that's,
So everybody's okay with all that?
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay. That brings us to the end of our meeting. Thank you, everybody.
Can I have input?
You may have input, yes.
Thanks. I just want to reiterate what you said, Linda, that going through this ordinance had nothing to do with me or my situation. It was seeing it as a first reading that caught my attention of, it going on through the agenda so quickly.
Yes.
And that it always takes a work session for all of us to go through it. And I appreciate all the work you've done on it, Erin, and putting this together so that we could have our first go through and give ideas to things again. And I look forward to seeing what we wind up with so that we can have something that we're
Yes.
proud of for the third change in 4 years. So it was about that. It wasn't about me being gone.
Thank you, Shanna. Aaron.
yeah, thank you, Shanna. That's so, like we said, like, it would be nice if we can come up with a real procedure for handling
that would be-
ordinances that can apply moving forward. And having of the first reading the way I was going for, the idea was that people see it, oh, I need to look at this because this is going to be discussed moving forward. And one thing that is definitely, I found, there's nothing that says there has to be a second reading ever. You never actually have to have a second reading. It can just disappear. You can just pretend you never had the first reading. And the discussion doesn't have to happen in any period of time. That first reading is just, it's basically a motion announcing to the town, we're going to be looking at this ordinance. That's Robert's Rules stuff.
Okay. Well, I like it better when it's just put in the town updates, you know? We will be discussing this in work session and hopefully bringing forward a new ordinance or a rewritten or something like that. I think it's just sounds
Later.
plainer, yes. Your work on this is greatly appreciated. And I do wanna say that, Aaron was in the office several hours today. I was in the office for an hour or so today, stuffing envelopes and getting the survey ready for, Benish. Did you stop in? If you stopped in and did any, I didn't see you, but I did see Aaron and I doing it, so.
No, I did not stop
And are you
in.
done? It
Well,
is
then that
completed.
They're ready to go.
They're ready to be mailed,
Stamps on them,
so.
yep.
And
Okay.
I mean, that brings up another subject. You did not see me at the pumping this weekend, but I thought of you. And did you ever figure out what those lights were?
What's those,
What's those lights?
No. It was
Well,
a UFO.
Yeah, I mean, we were concerned because of it being emergency lighting.
Uh-huh.
And Chuck says, well, I wonder if something happened over there. So that's why I made a couple phone calls.
So you visited the lagoons and it made you think of me? Is that?
You know, dummy. I thought about you during the night, out over there.
Oh, boy.
Standing outside, freezing, and I'm nice and warm in my house.
Yeah, no, it was, yeah, I'm a night shift person, always have been. It was,
I am just so proud of this board and what they have done in this last week. It was incredible.
It was.
It
You guys did a fantastic job, even though you interrupted my breakfast in Huntsville. But I did get breakfast.
Oh, good. All right, anybody else have any input for trustee input, citizen input? Dan's chewing, he does got, keep chewing.
did we
It's
thank
good.
them for coming?
Thank you all for coming, yes. We'll see you at next Tuesday night's regular meeting. Thank you.